it's Jessii Vee. I'm feeling the blue vibes right now. So as you can tell by the title of this video, today we're gonna be talking about a haunted Dr. Seuss book. I know it's weird, but I'll get into it in a second. We're also just gonna be talking about general, very strange haunted items from around the world, because sometimes things that you wouldn't expect to be cursed are. Before I get into this video though, I just want to give a shout out to a bunch of schools that actually started Yana groups, which I'm so excited about. I have a little list here, so I'm gonna read them off. So we have Young Women's Leadership Academy of Midland, William B. Orenick Intermediate, Nibley Park School, Robinson Middle School, Florence Elementary School, Springfield Middle School, Norton Middle School, Ederstad VGS, Robertson Elementary School, Madison Elementary, Ecole Perry Paler School, and Bidwell School. So there's so many schools who are starting Yana groups. You guys are amazing. Keep it up. It makes me so happy that you guys are starting this very important movement of making people feel less alone and more included in schools. Also, before I get started, don't forget that right now I have the limited edition Jessii Vee mystery boxes for Christmas. There are 3 different sizes. Every box is going to be completely different for everybody, and they are filled with things that you have never seen before. So the link to those are down below in the description. Alright, so let's get into this video. We are going to start with the Haunted Dr. Seuss book. The book is called The Foot Book, which was published in 1968. It's a very strange title for a book. The Foot Book is intended for young children, and it seeks to convey the concept of opposites through depictions of different kinds of feet. The text of the Foot Book is highly stylized, containing the rhymes, repetitions, and cadences typical of Dr. Seuss's work. If you guys have ever read Dr. Seuss books, which I hope you have because that was my entire childhood, his books are very, very strange. All of his characters are abstract and weird. The way he writes is kind of like unsettling, but really intriguing because of all the different rhymes that he makes. He literally makes up words. But this book that he created called The Foot Book was the first book that he made after his wife passed away. He created this book to get his mind off of the passing of his wife. It was kind of like a coping mechanism. He would work on this book 10 hours a day for such a long period of time and put his whole emotion and thought into it. So as happy and silly as this book may look, it actually has a lot of grief and loss associated with it. And as you guys may know, spirits and evil things really like to latch on to that strong, sad emotion. I mean, people have said, just as an example, you're more likely to be possessed by a spirit or haunted by a spirit if you're depressed and sad, rather than if you have this happy, outgoing energy, because you're weaker when you're sad, you know what I mean? So this book was found out to be haunted, and it's now sitting in a paranormal museum. I believe that museum is called West Virginia's National Museum of the Paranormal. And this museum is full of just a whole bunch of haunted dolls, haunted objects, cursed things, a whole bunch of stuff. So this book is now a part of it. What happened was this book was originally owned by a family who claimed that every single time their daughter read the book, there would be children's voices whispering in the darkness of their house, and they constantly felt like they were being watched by something while they were reading it. Now, the book that this family had was pre-owned. They were not the first people that had it. I don't know if they bought it in a garage sale or bought it from some secondhand store, but when paranormal investigators actually went and looked at the history of where this book first came from, it actually came from a house where a very serious murder took place. So if you look really closely at the pages of the book this family had, there's like little blood splatters and stuff on it. So I don't know if the spirits of the people who died in the house went into the book. I have no idea, but apparently this Dr. Seuss book is very, very haunted, so stay very far away. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, the scariest Dr. Seuss story to me was about the Pail Pants. It was the pale green pants, I'm pretty sure, which I know sounds like silly, and it was a very silly story, but I'm pretty sure it appears in a book called What Was I Scared Of? And they are a pair of empty green pants that are able to move on their own despite the lack of wearing. But it's basically this character in the book running away from these green pants with nobody money inside them. They were like ghost pants. Oh, when I was a kid, that was so scary to me for some reason. Anyways, let's move on to the next haunted item. Next, we have a haunted wedding dress, which is very fitting for me to be reading this right now after I'm married. Where's my ring? I'm like showing you the wrong finger. This is my marriage hand, everybody. So the story behind this wedding dress goes back to the 1800s. There was this rich girl by the name of Anna Baker. In 1849, she had this family. They were very upper class and rich, but she fell in love with somebody in lower class, which is like a no-no back then. She fell in love with this iron worker, and her family told her she could not marry him under any circumstances. Of course, this didn't stop her. They were in love, and they tried to plan out this wedding behind their parents' back, but unfortunately, her father did find out. He completely shut down the wedding and made sure that his daughter went the rest of her days without marrying, which is so sad and such a horrible punishment. She died in 1914, and people say she was a very bitter and reclusive lady. She lived on her own. She basically hated everybody and hated life in general. The dress now sits in a museum, and it's said that it moves around the museum on its own. People see it floating above the floor. It changes positions in the case that it's sitting in, and people say it's just possessed by her restless spirit. She's restless to go and find the love that she wants to be with. It's like a really dark story. All right, the next item is a haunted bunk bed. I know, it's a little weird. This story took place in 1987. This couple brought home a bunk bed that they purchased at a second-hand shop. From the moment the bed was first slept in, it seemed like the house was suddenly haunted by these horrible spirits that tormented this family. The children, who were never really sick, got sick like every single day of the year. Radios would turn on by themselves, the TV would turn on, lights would flicker, just your typical haunting type stuff. Whenever the youngest daughter would sleep in the bunk bed, she always said she saw red eyes from behind her bedroom door, and then a month later her brother saw the exact same thing. They started to realize that the bunk bed was the cause of all this paranormal activity, so they decided to have the bunk beds destroyed, and afterwards all of the paranormal stuff stopped happening. In 1988, the family moved out of the house just because they just wanted to start new and not be in the same house where they were tormented, and the family that moved in after them claimed that nothing ever happened, so once the beds was destroyed, everything was fine. The next item is haunted shoes. These shoes are said to contain a spirit of a little girl. Her name was apparently Lisa, and these shoes were found in an old Victorian house tucked away in a closet. Apparently, these shoes would start tapping on the floor in the middle of the night. They were seen going up and down hallways and stuff. And apparently the person who found these shoes looked into the history of the Victorian house of which they were found. And apparently that house was home to so many ghosts and spirits, including the spirit of a 9-year-old girl who had died from sepsis. So I don't know if her spirit latched onto her shoes for some reason, but that is what this person does suspect. And then lastly, we're gonna stop with kind of a silly one, and that is a haunted Ziplock bag. So I believe this bag was trying to be sold on eBay for some reason. And what's weird is that the description of this says that this plastic pouch can restore or heal anything or anyone. So the second you put something broken or weird into the bag, it will like restore it. It's so weird. It says if you stick a lock of a loved one's hair inside of the bag, it can heal, resurrect, protect, and lessen the burden. What does this even mean? Is it some sort of like witchcraft item? Like, I don't know. It just seems like really silly. I mean, who's gonna actually go on to eBay and be like, yeah, I wanna buy that haunted Ziploc bag? Anyway, so guys, those are all of the haunted items we're gonna be talking about today. If I missed any really peculiar ones that are pretty popular, definitely comment them down below. Also, if you would like to win this backdrop behind me, I talked about all the rules in the video I posted a few days ago. It was the video I did about the haunted hotel that Ty and I went on for our honeymoon. Go to that video. I talk about all the rules at the very beginning. The reason why I'm sending you there is because for some reason that day notifications did not really work, and I worked really hard on that video, so like go watch it. Anyways, so guys, also if you would like your Christmas mystery box, that is linked down below in the description as well. Those are a limited edition for Christmas, so definitely get yours when you can. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!